Let's get to this is what I wanted to get to was Lekkerimmäki. Jonathan Lekkerimäki's first practice as a Vancouver Canuck. Well, Abbotsford Canuck. I keep saying this. You know what I'm saying? He's with the organization now, and he's had his first practice. And I was there. I was in attendance at the Abbotsford Center today. Couple interesting things to note, Harmon. I'll kind of go through them because I have done a lot of prep here. This is also my first chance to see Elias Pettersson. I'll talk about him as well. But on Jonathan Lekkerimäki, he was skating with John Stevens and Arshdeep Bains. Those are two of Abbotsford's most trusted, defensively sound forwards. That made me think that, okay, with Abbotsford being in Colorado to take on the Colorado Eagles on Friday and Saturday, he's for sure getting into the game. He's getting in there. And then what made me think that even more was when they showed power play units, he was on PP2. And for those on the YouTube live show, you can see it. He's getting work in the bumper. He's getting work in the bumper spot on the second power play unit. Looked right at home there. I asked him afterwards if he's comfortable playing there because he has obviously played with the one-timer option at the World Juniors and throughout his time in Sweden, but he did also play the bumper during his time in the SHL with Örebro, who I learned how to pronounce their name today. Örebro. It's like Huglander. It's like the O with the umlaut. It's pronounced Örebro. Anyways, moving right past that. Yeah, he was in the bumper spot, and I found that to be interesting, along with him playing with Bains and Stevens. Abbotsford dressed 11 forwards last week, so it feels like there's a spot for him to take, but Jeremy Colliton was very non-committal to him playing this weekend. Also really, really wanted to temper expectations. He talked about how guys in the AHL sometimes need some time if they're coming over from Sweden or vice versa. He talked about guys that go from the AHL to Sweden and they have trouble. Jeremy Colliton being one of them, and not necessarily having trouble, but Colliton spent time in Sweden. He's got a lot of contacts in Sweden, so he was keeping up. Colliton knows what's going on with these prospects, and he was keeping up with their seasons quite a bit. Grady, do we have the audio from Colliton? I just want to. Okay, we got Okay, we only have Lekkerimäki. Colliton had some good stuff. So great, if you could get Colliton's audio, that'd be good. But anyways, basically what Colliton was saying was just that if he scores a hat trick in his first game as an Abbotsford Canuck, you need to temper expectations. If he has a bad game and goes -2, you need to temper expectations. You need to calm down. So he was kind of preaching this idea that, look, he's a young prospect. He's going to take time, and you don't want to be making these sweeping judgments. And he was asked what he thought of Lekkerimäki's first practice and any takeaways that he had about Lekkerimäki after his first practice, and he just kind of laughed it off. He was like, no, it's one practice. I don't really have much. But we did talk to Lekkerimäki as well, and he was telling us, just how excited he was to be there, how the guys were making him feel at home. It was really nice to be able to talk to him. A man of very few words. And Grady, I think you have the audio of this. So we'll just play the full 4 minutes of Jonathan Lekkerimäki's first media availability as a Canuck that wasn't at a development camp. This is since he turned pro.
Nice to just get back on the ice, Jonathan.
Yeah, it was 1 week ago. It was so nice, so felt good.
Yeah. How was the travel coming over?
Long, but not too bad, so it was okay.
You get a chance to work out with the Scenes. I know you got to work with the Scenes at development camp, but what did you think about getting back to work with them?
Yeah, very funny. They talked to me a lot and wanted to help me, so it was nice.
What's Elias told you about Abbotsford so far?
Not too much, but we will see. Maybe go to the shopping center today. Maybe.
What did you think of your first practice? How did it feel?
Felt pretty good. Yeah.
And you just mentioned with the guys, you're feeling at home already, or how you feel?
Yeah, they welcome me very well, so it feels really good.
We just talked to Elias about the small ice, that you just come here first practice on small ice. What kind of a difference does that make for you as a player? What adjustments do you have to make?
I think the guys are closer to each other. I think you have to read the game before you get the puck and be more aware where you have your guys.
I guess here you're getting a chance to work out and stay fit for the World Championships. I know that would be a big thing for you. What are you trying to do here to keep warm before the World Championships?
I mean, watch and learn how the guys play and practice, and just feel how it is to play on the small ice.
Could you feel it just in one practice? Was it different or what?
No, it wasn't. No, not too. Pretty similar, I think.
What are your first impressions of the guys you're skating with them? What stood out to you? Pace, the speed, anything that stand out to you from this time on the ice with the guys here?
Yeah, I think the pace was high. I play with Baines, and I haven't met him before, so yeah, we chat a bit, and first practice was pretty good.
Just can't stop him from talking. Dude loves to talk. Loves to talk. Sino Chick asked this, because I mentioned Elias Pettersson was there as well. Do the Sedins know that DPD thought they played junior hockey in the early 80s? Did you see this video, Harm? They had Lekkerimmäki. Also, I think you're muted. But they had Lekkerimmäki, Pettersson, and two other World Juniors teammates there doing trivia about Swedish hockey, and they were like, these players, I think they even said brothers, these brothers brought home gold in the 1982 World Juniors, and Elias Pettersson writes down the Sedins, and you just see Lekkerimmäki go, dude, they didn't play that long ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That was so funny.
Oh, it was the best. But yes, like I said, Lekkerimmäki, the advice I was given was that if you give him a yes or no question, he will take the option. Like he will give you a yes or a no. But no, he was great. It was good to get to meet him in person for the first time and get to talk to him. Jeremy Colliton, I think we have it now, Grady. Jeremy Colliton spoke a little bit about getting Lekkerimmäki on the ice for the first time as well.
Well, it's just great to get him here, and kind of the next step for him, just to be comfortable and be around our team and see how it's going to be. And obviously, he knows a bunch of guys from development camp, which is great. He knows us, knows the staff, but it's always going to be an adjustment. So the quicker we could get him here and get him in the group and playing hockey, it's only going to help him.
Had Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, here as well for a little bit. Now you've had some more practices to see him. What do you think of him so far?
Yeah, same thing. It's only going to help him going forward. To the experience he's gaining, just being around the team and being in practice and seeing how it is, seeing what the environment's like, what it's like to prepare all week for a game. And I'm not sure. We take it day by day as far as who's going to play and whatnot, but the best way for him to prepare to play is to be with us and practice and feel that competitiveness and the pace, and so we'll just see where it goes.
And I guess this is a developmental league. You're a guy who likes to do that with these players. Do you take it on as a challenge a little bit, or what do you kind of evaluate the situation with your job getting these guys to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same for everyone. It's not we're trying to develop everyone we have. Certainly, it's exciting to get guys like that in, and we want to help them get to the next level as quickly as possible. There's a process to go through too. It's not you can't just pick a guy and be like, yeah, that guy, we're going to give him everything and he's going to make it now. There's steps to take, and there's adversity to get through as well. I personally think that if you don't face adversity along the way, then when you get there and then it comes, you don't know how to handle it. So that's part of being in this league. It's a hard league, and you can earn what you get, and if you get through it, then it's going to make you better on the other side.
I really find that answer very interesting, Harm, because I was already getting this on Twitter too, and I replied to someone that said it, but they were talking about how Colliton's, he's too focused on wins and losses. He needs to be focused more on development. I just want to say I have very little doubt that Jeremy Colliton knows what he's doing when it comes to developing players. And I know, look, people are looking at Klimovich and saying, oh, well, why is he scratched? Why is he on the fourth line? Because he's played very badly. He's played awful this year, and he played really well last year, and he was getting rewarded with ice time and different opportunities last year. Just because the guy was drafted high doesn't mean that he's going to play. And the question that I ask to these people, Harm, is, first of all, it's not Utica anymore, where you're hearing about prospects just losing all love for the game and leaving the sport altogether or whatever. Like, we're not hearing anything like that anymore. That's not happening. But what we are seeing is that these guys that are getting the opportunities are getting opportunities because they're playing the game that the way the Canucks want to play. And when we talk about organizational alignment, we hear that, yes, Abbotsford and the Vancouver Canucks run the exact same way. When you go up from Abbotsford to Vancouver, they're playing the same systems, they have the same expectations, and it's not a shock for those players coming up. What's your end goal? If you're giving a guy, and I don't mean to single out Klimovich, take any prospect. Like Ratu's played a lot recently because he's played well. But take any prospect, for example. What's your end goal of just throwing them out there, regardless of how they're performing, regardless of how much effort they're putting in the staples of the game, regardless of all of that? What's your end goal if you're just saying, okay, you are going to keep getting these opportunities while we hold everybody else to a higher standard? That player is not going to go up to the NHL and be efficient. Like, that's not how development's going to work. That's not how it's going to work for the Vancouver Canucks, because the Vancouver Canucks have a standard of how they expect their players to play. So if you want to go create a bunch of Andrei Kuzmenkos, and again, not to single out players, but you know what I mean. If you want to go make one-dimensional players, go ahead. But if you want to take a guy who was one-dimensional in Niels Höglander and turn him into somebody that can be an effective top 6 scorer under Rick Tocchet, under this head coach, and on this NHL team, then keep Jeremy Colliton in Abbotsford, because that's what you're going to keep getting, is that kind of development, that kind of confidence building, and those guys coming up to the NHL and knowing exactly how they need to play.
Well, the key there, as you mentioned, is with guys like Höglander, now Podkolzin, even the strides that Archdeep Bains has made since signing as a CHL free agent, there's proof of concept that they can turn players that have the potential into something legitimate. And in the case of Klimovich, I mean, even before the season started, it was rough for him in Penticton. It was rough for him in training camp. He was consistently bobbling pucks, making mistakes even in elementary drills. So I honestly don't lay any blame for Klimovich's developmental struggles this season on the coaching staff and on Abbotsford, especially now that you've got the Sedins and you're investing so many resources there. Utica was a totally different thing, where players, and you would speak to agents that represented clients on that team, it felt like it was a totally different world, right? You're on the East Coast of the US in some small town where you feel so disconnected from the main team. The GM of the actual Vancouver Canucks only comes down there once a year because it's that far away, whereas here, quite commonly, you'll see Jim Rutherford or Patrick Elvine or Ryan Johnson, of course, who manages Abbotsford, at these games. There actually feels like there's a pulse. It's a night and day difference, and I think they've definitely earned a lot of leash and trust as they develop young players and prospects.
Canucks Conversation is live Monday through Friday, every weekday at 2 p.m. over on the Canucks Army YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, and interact in the YouTube live chat every day with us, folks.